Honestly, I'm so glad that you said this because it's in my mind, but it doesn't get talked about enough at all. So I even drew a picture for it. This is how women tend to view the world: men at the top and women at the bottom, the oppressor and the oppressed. In reality, it breaks down more like this. We have men in the 1% at the top. The women who are in the 1% usually attached to those men. Some of them are married. We have men in the top 10 to 20%. Those are your men who make, those are your six-figure earners to middle class. And the women that are just below them, who those men tend to out earn. These women generally look up and see up and do not see the men down here at the bottom that essentially hold up society. These are your electricians, your plumbers, your trash men, all the workers that you don't see and don't care about who keep society running. But because the average woman has much closer proximity to the men down here than the men up here, they just blame these men for the shit that these men do. This is not the patriarchy. This is and really not even patriarchy. It's plutocracy and oligarchy, and everyone up here is your oligarchs. You're just blaming the men down here for not stopping the men down here, even though everyone up here has ensured no one beneath them has the power to do so. Without, of course, violent revolution generally. And this is why these back and forths on here continue, because these women listen to these women complain about these men, but you only have proximity to these men, so those are the ones that you bitch and complain to. And these men are like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? I'm not up here. I have no power to do anything about the shit that bothers you. These men do not pass legislation. These men do. These men do not make laws. These men aren't the one that violates your rights. These men are. This is what you call the patriarchy. Stop blaming men down here for it. They do not benefit from the patriarchy in the ways that you think that they do. If anything, they are violently victimized by it. And if you've been watching this long, you notice I've kind of skipped over these men here, and that's because these men are the men who these women want these men to become from a financial standpoint. These are the men that these women want to fuck and want to date, so they tend to kind of leave them alone until their emotions are hurt or it's convenient for them to get on these men's asses. But since this is the majority of men, that's who gets them.
We both have the same type of man. Like, we like a nasty fucker.
We like a fucking criminal. Like, straight up someone who is so visibly violent. That is our type.
Like, someone that if we bring them home to our parents or show them to our friends, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do they have gold teeth?
You should never even have approached that man in the first place. That is someone who will lead you into a violent and tragic death. And Natalie and I
They're gonna kill your dog.
They're gonna kill your dog. They're gonna kill or fuck your dog. And Natalie and I are like, hot, hot, hot.
A broke man is a dangerous man, and you have no business dating one. And I'm not talking about lavish dates and trips. I'm not talking about having a ridiculous standard and being shallow. I'm talking about the fact that when a man is at a point in his life and he is not able to do the most fundamental things for himself, he is at war with himself. And you will be the punching bag in the war that he is having in his own self. You do not want to be that. Society puts a lot of pressure on men to be providers, to be protectors, and their identity is associated with that.
No, I think that's mostly women. I think women mostly put that pressure on men to be protectors and be providers. And I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. I just think it's interesting that when men want certain things out of women, it's because the men are bad. But when women want certain things out of men, it's because society puts that pressure on men. Women are 50% of the society, and women are the ones by and large that put that type of pressure on men. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but I'm saying don't just try to chalk it up to society. It's mostly women that put that pressure on men.
And when they cannot even do it at the most basic level for themselves, that is a problem for them. A lot of men, what they do, obviously, it's survival. They'll find a female that they will love bomb, they will convince to invest in their potential, to let them move in, to, let them put their stuff in her garage or use her address or any type of thing to get by.
A lot of men are doing that? Or you just talking about the men that you dating? Are a lot of men doing that? Or are you just talking about the guys that you're dating?
And here's what happens. Either you spend your time, your years, your youth, your money, your resources building this man up. And because he is not in a man's position, he does not feel like a man. And once he's built up, he will take all of your investment and go invest it in another woman who actually makes him feel like a man. Or what happened in my case is that he actually stays, but he develops a secret hatred towards you.
Well, maybe, and have you thought about this? Has she thought about this? Maybe that guy doesn't actually like that woman. She's just willing to pay the price to keep him around. And that's something that a lot of people aren't willing to admit. Women don't hold men they find attractive accountable. Okay? That's just the truth of the matter. And you can see that reflected in society when you look at people like, say, NBA Youngboy or Future, or for a white example, somebody like Elon Musk. And the only reason I'm pointing out these people is because they're people that we all might know. I could go back to my old neighborhood and point out 5 examples of dudes that ain't got nothing going on, but because women think that they're attractive or they dress a certain way, women will invite them into their houses and live the exact same life that she's saying right now. And it's because they're trying to pay for that man to like them, and the man doesn't even like them. Okay, they want a trophy wife. And when the man does finally get himself together, if he ever does, because usually it doesn't happen, they do leave them because they never liked them in the first place. And by the way, let's be 100% clear about this. The women know. The women know. They're just lust demons. They're lust demons. They want their ego stroked. They working real hard. They eating fast food. They getting big to the point where now you gotta use momentum to get up out your seat. And they want a man around to make them feel pretty. And the only way they're gonna feel pretty is if they have a man that other women want telling them that they're pretty and inhabiting the same space as them. These dudes that they're talking about right now, they don't got no job. All they got to do is stay muscular and be good at having sex, and that's what these women are signing up for. So these women are signing up for the lifestyle that they know that they're a part of, and when the man leaves them because he was never interested in them, they try to act like the fool. You knew he didn't like you. The subscription is up. You was paying for a trophy wife, and now that he finally got on his feet, he don't want to be around you no more. Maybe the dude just never liked you in the first place.
It's a secret competition. Every chance he gets, he's trying to dim your light. He tries to tear you down. He speaks negatively of you, and he doesn't want people to think good things about you. It's because he's insecure in his own manhood.
Okay, well then why are the women that are allowing that dating these guys? Most women know a guy that would treat them well. They just don't want the guy. They want a guy that doesn't like them, or a guy they can't actually maintain to give them the things that this guy is actually willing to give them. Right? So they want the things that they want. They just want it from the guy that they want it from, and the guys that they want it from don't want to give it to them. So these women are willing to pay the price because the women are the ones that are also insecure in their womanhood. They want their ego stroked. You know, if you want a man, if you dating a man based on potential, you know what to look for. A man that has a good work ethic. He has certain characteristic traits where if he's not successful in the things that he's doing right now, because it's a character trait, it'll transfer over to other endeavors. That's dating a man based on potential. In these situations, they're dating a man that's attractive. They trying to put him back on their feet, and they paying for the man to stay around. They paying a premium subscription for the man to stay around. They know the man don't like them, and then they act surprised when the man shows that he doesn't like them when they finally get back on their feet, or when they find another woman that they can mooch off of. And by the way, I don't know very many men that are actually doing this. Maybe in your early 20s you've seen this a lot more, but most men I know that are actually established now that I'm 30, they don't want to live under a woman. You already talking about a specific type of man that's willing to stick around and live under a woman and live off of a woman. And these types of women know that. They just don't hold them accountable because they're lust demons. They're attracted to men who have good sex and that are muscular, even though they might be a little bit overweight and they work hard. That's the truth of the matter. And it's to stroke their ego.
And when men are broke, they are not secure in their manhood. You need to leave that man alone. You need to let him go through his process. You need to let him do whatever he needs to do to get on his feet, but you are not the one to help him. If he has to go and sleep on other people's couches, so be it. If he has to go home for a short time, so be it. We've all been at low points in our life, but you, ma'am, don't need to be the one rescuing him. What is that animal? I think it's the sea turtle. Please, I know you'll come for me in the comments if I'm wrong, but the life of a sea turtle, this is what I've heard. I've never been there. I've never seen it. But, sea turtles are born in the sand, and it's a long journey from the sand to the ocean. They want to live in the ocean. That's where they're journeying towards the ocean. And it's a very long, hard, arduous journey to get from where they were born to the ocean. And that journey, a lot of them don't make it. And they are struggling. They're moving slowly. They're almost out of, the energy to actually get to the waves, to the ocean where they will thrive. And so tourists go and they see these little turtles and they go and pick them up because they feel sorry for them. And they take them and they carry them to the ocean. And what happens is those turtles die because the journey from the sand to the ocean, they were developing muscles, they were developing stamina, they were developing survival skills that are going to be necessary for them to survive in the ocean.
Yeah, okay. That was actually a good analogy. I see what she's saying, and I get it. I do agree that men who aren't as productive are definitely in a different headspace, but I think it's disingenuous to say you're dating a man based on his potential when you know the man doesn't like you and you know he doesn't actually have potential. He using your car to go talk to other women when you at your job. He telling you he gonna flip your tax refund money, and you buying the sweet nothings because when a man is attractive and a woman likes a man enough, a man don't even gotta lie to him because they'll lie to themselves about the man. That's the truth of the matter. These types of women are not dating these men based on potential. They listening to these men tell them sweet nothings. They know it's not true, but they want to believe it, so they lie to themselves. And the man continues to reflect the characteristics of the man he was the whole time, and they just try to ignore it.
You are not Build-A-Bear. You are not Captain Save-A-Ho. You deserve to be loved, protected, provided, cared for, showered with gifts, showered with love. And I'm not being shallow. It doesn't have to be trips to Paris and Rome, although we don't refuse that. I am saying that when a man is not where he wants to be, it is never going to serve you. You are going to be the one paying for it. He is either going to build himself up and go somewhere else or stay where he's at and secretly resent you for it. It's not worth it. It's not his time to be looking for somebody to add to his life. But because he's trying to survive, he'll do whatever he has to do. Don't be stupid. One more thing I want to add. That whole saying of what you don't do, another one will. I'm okay with that. Okay? I'm very well aware that if I don't do it, another female will. And guess what? I don't want to be the female that will. I will happily let him go somewhere else. It's not going to be me. I'm at peace with that, sir. You can go. Bye-bye.
Yeah, this is a motivational speech for lust demons, and instead of holding the women accountable and telling them to self-reflect as to why they're willing to date these types of men, and it's probably because they want their ego stroked, instead of asking those women to reflect on those types of things, she's just saying broke men are dangerous. I agree that if you're a woman and you looking for a man that has some level of consistency, ain't wrong with looking for a man that got a little something. I ain't talking about the whole world, but at least he's willing to work a job consistently. That's base level. I understand that. But when you're talking about anything above that, you looking for a man that you probably don't even qualify for. Most people are base level. There is no such thing as struggle love. That's what love is. Being willing to build a life with somebody who is at least has the characteristics to be a consistent person and a consistent worker, to put in consistent work. These are the types of women that are trying to beat the game because they think their status, they think their PhDs, or they think the amount of money that they make is going to qualify them for a man that they don't actually qualify for. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's a help without special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.